Monthly expenses in Atlanta are increasing every year. The average monthly mortgage in Atlanta in 2020 was $1,500. In 2021, it was $1,700. And in 2022, it was about $2,100. This year, it continues to increase, and add to that the cost of groceries and the cost of gas, and monthly expenses in Atlanta are significantly higher this year than ever before. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's Victor with Living in Atlanta, Georgia. When we talk about the cost of living and the monthly expenses in Atlanta, there are certainly a few different factors that we got to talk about. The cost of houses, obviously, utilities, electric, water, these kinds of monthly utilities that are typical. Also, the cost of groceries and gas just continues to increase. So let's really take a look at what it looks like in the city of Atlanta when we add all of these things together. Within the city of Atlanta, you certainly could live there and not have to have a vehicle. You could get around using public transportation in the city of Atlanta, but you should know that the public transportation in Atlanta, which is called MARTA, is not very good. I'm certainly not a fan of MARTA. Most people are not a fan of MARTA. So it's usable, but it just doesn't go to all of the city. There really is only a couple main lines for MARTA for the train, and it doesn't get to all of the different areas of MARTA, so it's just not very efficient. There are plenty of areas in Atlanta that you could live and be able to walk to work or to a grocery store or whatever daily activities. It's super easy to walk around in the city of Atlanta. Unlike the suburbs, where you certainly would need a vehicle, you could get around the city of Atlanta walking, depending on what neighborhood you're in. So the cost of a vehicle is not something that is super important in the city of Atlanta. If you lived in Midtown, you probably could get away without having to pay for monthly car payments. Or if you lived in downtown Atlanta, you again could get away with not having monthly expenses for a vehicle. But if you live in one of the farther out neighborhoods in Atlanta, like in Grant Park or in Brookhaven, these areas would be a little more difficult to not have a vehicle in the city of Atlanta. And right now, the cost of gas in Atlanta is about $3.60. I've even seen some places as high as $3.70. So that's certainly something that you need to think about when you're going to be living in Atlanta. And if you're thinking about moving to Atlanta, or you just have any questions about what it's like to live here, feel free to call or text or email me anytime. I really am so thankful to everybody who has reached out. I'm more than happy to help. Another thing that we need to take a look at with monthly expenses in Atlanta are grocery bills. In Atlanta, you can pretty much find any kind of grocery store that you might be looking for, from Publix to Whole Foods to Aldi and Trader Joe's. You have no limit of the different varieties of the grocery stores. So you can go to a more expensive grocery store, or you can go to a less expensive grocery store. Obviously depends on what your preference is. According to a website called payscale.com, they have a pretty interesting diagram here of what groceries typically cost in Atlanta. And I think it's pretty accurate. Loaf of bread, $3.59. I think that's pretty accurate. $2.25 for a gallon of milk. Eggs, I guess that's pretty accurate. It used to be a lot less, but with everything else increasing in price, $2.08 is pretty accurate. However, these bananas, again, I've seen this with payscale.com and other cities. I'm not sure what kind of amazing bananas they are buying for $3.11. You can certainly find bananas for less than $3.11, but otherwise this diagram is pretty accurate in describing how much the cost of typical groceries are within the city of Atlanta. But again, a big factor for the cost of groceries is going to be which grocery store you choose. Okay, let's talk about the cost of homes in Atlanta, and then we'll break that down to see what a typical monthly mortgage would look like in Atlanta. Right now, the average home price in Atlanta is $380, and this includes single family homes that are not condos or townhomes, and it includes condos. There really are a lot of condos within the city of Atlanta, so we have to make sure to include this when we're looking at the average cost of homes in Atlanta. And this price of $380,000 also goes for the entire city. When we look at some specific parts of Atlanta, we can see it's a bit different. For example, in Midtown, the average price for a home is $376,000, and in Buckhead, the average home price is $500,000. Another super important factor to look at is the price per square foot. In all of Atlanta, the average price per square foot is $278. In Midtown, the average price per square foot is $386. And in Buckhead, it's $373. It might be unusual to see that the average price per square foot in Buckhead is less than Midtown. I think the reason for that is that the ratio of condos to single family homes is higher in Midtown than it is in Buckhead. That is to say, more condos in Midtown than in Buckhead. So because of that, we're going to see a higher cost per square foot in Midtown. Here are a few homes within the city of Atlanta that are currently for sale around that price tag of $380,000. There's 943 Peachtree Street, Unit 1118. It's a one-bed, one-bath condo, about 872 square feet. They're currently asking $390,000. Also, 805 Peachtree Street, Unit 521 is a two-bed, two-bath, about 1,400 square feet. They're asking $400,000. And this one is a single-family home, 1059 Smith Street, a three-bed, three-bath home, about 1,500 square feet, also asking $400,000. So it's certainly doable to find a home within the city of Atlanta for that price tag, about $380 to $400. You can tell though, with single family homes, the homes are going to be a bit older, and with condos, you're going to find more modern homes. But the trade-off is going to be less space in a condo, more space in a single family home. So let's break that down and take a look at what that looks like for a monthly mortgage payment. For an average home price of $380,000 with a 20% down payment and an interest rate of 6.8%, we're looking at a total of $2,482 for your monthly mortgage. Now, that includes taxes and insurance. So let's talk about how much you can expect for property taxes and homeowners insurance. Typically, in Atlanta, you're looking at about 1% of the value of the home for property taxes. So for a $380,000 house, you're looking at about $3,800, maybe closer to $4,000 per year for property taxes. And then for homeowners insurance, that's certainly going to depend on a lot of different factors, the company you use or the amount of deductible that you have. But typically you're looking at about $1,000 to $3,000 per year for homeowners insurance. Here in Atlanta and all of Georgia, property taxes come out around April, maybe May, and it's just like a notice, this is how much your property taxes are going to be. And then they are due around the middle of October. If you have a mortgage payment that includes your property taxes, your mortgage holder will pay for your property taxes. Obviously, you're paying for that little by little every month. You're creating an escrow account, and then they use that to pay for your property taxes. Same with the homeowner's insurance. You submit that homeowner's insurance to your mortgage holder, and then they create an escrow account. They charge you little by little for the year, and then they pay off that homeowner's insurance every year. You can apply for a homestead exemption in the city of Atlanta. It's not a huge discount off of your property taxes, but it is about a 5 to 10% discount for property taxes. Again, that's the homestead exemption, and it's due April 1st. Don't forget that date. Anything after April 1st, you'll have to wait a whole nother year before you get that property tax discount. And then there's the cost of utilities. Homes here in Georgia either have all electric, so the furnaces run off the electric, the stove, and then of course the lights and the HVAC, or they have homes that are electric and natural gas. Typically for the month, for a $380,000 house, you're looking at about $200 to $300 per month for gas and electric. And then for monthly water payment, of course, depends on how much you use the water, but I would say somewhere between $40 and $60 per month for a typical water payment in the city of Atlanta. While the cost of living in Atlanta certainly sounds good, especially compared to some of the other major cities in the US like LA, New York, Miami, maybe some cities in Texas, there really are some good sides and some bad sides to living in the city of Atlanta. And some of these benefits are making lots of people come to the city of Atlanta, and we're growing so much here in Atlanta. But there are also some downsides that could be big red flags for many people and could be deal breakers for you if you're thinking about moving to Atlanta. If you want a full list of pros and cons of living in Atlanta, check out this video. I'll see you there.